Hi everyone. I'm going to read a little extract from my book about writing, The Reason to Write. This piece is called William Watkins. Following my friend Hugh Carless's instructions, I wrote to dozens of well-known people all over the world. My letters were carefully crafted to maximize impact, and they certainly caused a stir. To my great surprise, more than half the names from the hit list wrote back with publicity quotes. They included a former American president, A-list actors, explorers, a who's who of royalty, and a galaxy of celebrated authors. I had the cream of the quotes printed on large sheets of brown paper. These were used to wrap up sample chapters and an outline of the In Gondwana reincarnation, which was called Beyond the Devil's Teeth, my first book. Borrowing £50 from my twin sister, Safia, I had a letter heading made. The stationery was sublime. A friend said holding it was like making love to his fingers. At last, I was ready to draft the cover letter to the publishers. There was no question of writing it from myself, so I chose a pseudonym that was simple with a hint of alliteration. William Watkins. Loading my expedition backpack up with packets, I clambered onto my bicycle and delivered them to publishers all over London. No one ever imagined the panting, sweating delivery boy was also the agent and the author as well. A week passed, then another. I cursed my friend Hugh Carless for reducing me to total impoverishment and myself for taking publishing tips from someone who'd never actually published anything at all. Retreating to my bed, the one place I could rely on for solace, I hid under the duvet and hoped the world would be struck by a massive meteorite right there and then. The meteorite didn't come, but the phone rang instead. Pulling myself out of bed, I staggered over to the landline and picked it up. "Yes," I snapped. "Good afternoon," said a prim voice, the kind you don't get in the pitiless companies touting carbonated brown water. "May I speak to William Watkins, please?" I screwed up my face. "William who?" "Mr. Watkins, is he available?" I was about to yell an obscenity and slam down the phone when I remembered the name of the agent, the one who'd taken on Tahir Shah, the greatest writer of his age. Thinking fast, I replied in a Cockney voice, "Yeah, well, this is the switchboard, miss. Putting you through now." My father used to say that agents were failed publishers who liked to throw their weight around. That tallied with what I'd learnt firsthand. A race unto themselves, the few agents I had encountered were smarmy, greedy, uncouth, and wretched in the extreme. Most of all, I learnt that they kept people waiting because it made them seem important. So, putting the phone down on the floor, I shuffled through to the kitchen, made a quick mayonnaise sandwich and rolled back to take the call. "Hello, William Watkins here," I oozed unctuously. "Good afternoon," the prim voice cooed. "Calling from Weidenfeld and Nicholson. We've received the chapters from Tahir Shah. They're obviously wonderful. We're definitely interested." Having slipped into character, a cross between a used car salesman and a bookie, I did my best to talk the talk. "Ah, yes, Tahir Shah, wonderful writer. Never had anyone like him on our books. Certain started in my head. A sure thing, if ever there was one." "Are the paperback rights still available?" Little Miss Prim asked, a tone of anticipation in her voice. "Available? Yes, but we're expecting them to go very fast," William Watkins said. "At least a dozen firms have expressed an interest so far." "I imagine they have," said the Little Miss Prim. "We'd like to see the rest. Could you have it biked down to us this afternoon?" I rolled my eyes. Biking down meant me getting on my bicycle and playing the part of the delivery guy again. "Of course," I said, taking down the details. "Actually, as time is of essence," the editor said, pearls clattering. "Perhaps it's best if Mr. Shah came in to meet us, say tomorrow morning at 10. At that moment, I was ready to come clean and explain that I was Tahir Shah, the writer, and Tahir Shah, the agent, just as I was Tahir Shah, the switchboard operator, Tahir Shah, a.k.a. William Watkins, and Tahir Shah, the cycle courier as well. But I didn't have the guts. No problem, I answered, a mayonnaise sandwich in one hand and the phone in the other. I'll see that he's there on time. Would you like to check with him that it's convenient tomorrow morning at 10? The editor asked. I paused, or rather William Watkins paused. I happen to know he can make it, I said firmly. Please do come along, the agent said. Alas, madam, I answered, that would be distinctly impossible. The reason to write.